If you're crying and you're freaking out, it's bad. And it's like, not for me. Sometimes I'm crying and then afterwards I'm like, okay, I had to let myself even know that I was upset or sad. You know, we can really cut ourselves off from how we feel, especially I find out of judgment for how I'm feeling, like the insecurity. I can't deal with my insecurity if I'm feeling insecure about being insecure.
So can you talk a little bit about how you're feeling right now?
How am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely like very aware of how sensitive I am. I'm sensitive all the time. I'm very aware of it right now. Recently I rode a roller coaster and it was terrifying. I was so scared and I wasn't hiding it. I was like, ah! Like the whole way up the line and everything. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. What the fuck? Ah. You know, just trying to get the energy out as much as I could. And then I did it and like on the way up, my friend like grabbed my hand so intensely. And as we were getting off of it, she was like, when we were at the top, I was ready to not be on that ride anymore. And I was like, no, I wonder how many times when I was a kid, I was just the only one expressing how I was feeling. Why do people ride roller coasters? The adrenaline, the feeling of facing your fears, the thrill of soaring through space, the ability to forget whatever the fuck is going on in your life and just fly. Do I want that? Yeah. So I gotta strap it.
Have you always been so willing to step into your fears?
I've always been pretty risk averse myself. I don't know, I don't feel like I had a lot of examples of that growing up. Like I feel like you look to your parents a lot for feeling safe in the world, knowing that you can take risks. And I feel like I didn't have that stability where somebody was down, you know, at the bottom of the roller coaster going, you're gonna be fine.
Can you talk a little bit about what your style says about you?
I feel like my style changes a lot. I do like to wear things that I feel like reflect a story. When I think about high school and the beginning of college, like I'd be late to school because I was so obsessively fixating on getting my makeup exactly right. I didn't like the way I looked, so I was trying to manipulate it in a way that I could be secure going out in the world with.
Why didn't you like the way you looked?
I was not ugly, but I didn't get attention from people in like a romantic way. And however I existed in the world at that age, like other people were being asked on dates and I wasn't. And so I just chalked that all up to, you're not cute. And you need to like present yourself in a certain way in order to get attention in that respect. I had long hair, full face of makeup, floral shirt, short skirt. I wore heels to school in high school, and we had 2 buildings that you had to walk back and forth between. Like I was really going the extra mile. And did it work? No, it never worked in the way I wanted it to, I don't think.
Can you tell me assumptions that people make about you based on only having seen you in a TV show or on social media?
I think within my work, people might make assumptions that I'm like sensitive or have a lot of feelings. Those would be accurate. The only spaces where I feel like I've had to like kind of try to counteract the assumptions or judgments that people were making before they actually like interacted with me has been in production and not like out in the world. You know, people will tiptoe around you. That's what makes me, I'm like, if all these people have learned to tiptoe around actors, some people must be blowing up. It's taken a while to be like, okay, that's not necessarily about what I'm doing, but I can do things to help put that at ease.
I think you make an enormous impact, like just by the fact that you don't post on Instagram. Like I think it's very loud and clear where you're coming from, in like a really good way.
Well, I don't know, where are you coming from?
Right.
I personally see that I get a lot of attention because of the work that I do. And that feels like a responsibility. People who don't have any information about me, of course, put together an image about me. So every little bit I give is playing into that image. Like, even as an actor, I didn't imagine that I would have like a fan base. So what do I have to like say to these people? I have to see it as an opportunity, you know, like I feel like I have to interact with it somehow because it is such a powerful thing. And I feel like posting pictures of myself, I worry that it might cultivate the idea that I want or need these people's attention when I don't, in relation to images of myself. Mm-hmm. I really do feel like there are things that need attention that aren't getting attention. There are like ideas that maybe we should be thinking about and speaking about, but it's flattening. And it's happening to me all the time. I'm gonna do that to myself. I'm literally every day being put in 2 dimensions. Not every day, but when I'm working, all of my work is being flattened into 2 dimensions. Do I perform in 2 dimensions? No. I feel like flattening myself, putting myself in more boxes, simplifying it, or anything like that is doing a disservice to myself and to other people, because nobody's like that. We're all messy as fuck. It doesn't mean that I don't like struggle with all the same things people, you know, struggle with like openly on Instagram or are working through using Instagram. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that is a sphere where I can just take myself out of the race.
What are you insecure about?
I'm just scared people are gonna think I'm weird. I just always wanted friends, you know, and now when you have so many people's eyes, do I expect all of these people to tolerate my like differences? Do I expect all these people to embrace me fully for who I am? I do see it like as powerful to come more and more into myself, but I do find it very frightening. Because what if I turn a little bit to the left and everybody's like, oh, that was too much for me now, never mind.
Growing up with your sensitivity, how was that for you, like in your family?
I feel like a lot of the time, like I would do things or act in a certain way, but I'd be met with like a lot of love, a lot of love, a lot of love, and then like a lot of rejection and like just like cruelty.
From your family, like from parents and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, where it's like, you're amazing, you're the worst. I think like I dream of the day in which I might feel like really neutral about myself. I would sometimes like be uncomfortable or emotional, or I'd like spill something and I'd be upset about it. That was just another thing I was like doing wrong. Like not only did I spill the thing, but then I was upset about it. But why are you not cleaning it up? You know? I was like, I don't know. I'll do that now. I thought that I was really just a burden for everybody and that they were just having a hard time tolerating me, like seemingly everybody did. Living in that space definitely cultivated a lot of behaviors in me that I've since let go of. In order to survive that space, I was a different person than I am now.
Do you have any understanding what was actually going on with your parents?
I was always aware of their own trauma. That's the other thing too. Like they talked a lot about their experiences growing up and how hard they were. So I was very focused on their story. Like people used to ask me about myself and I would just talk about my parents. I really, really care about them a lot. I really do appreciate they were consistently doing their best.
In your personal life, like what kinds of things happen and like what does the trigger feel like?
Not even like physical abandonment, like emotional abandonment. Like that somebody will even like pretend like they're with you when they're not. Like the idea that I might expose those more intense parts of myself. It's that idea that it won't be held. You know, I just got out of a pretty troubling relationship. I gotta admit, it replicated a lot of the stuff that I grew up with. It really brought things to the surface, even that had like that I thought I healed or moved beyond. You know, it's like if you're crying and you're freaking out, it's bad. And it's like, not for me. Sometimes I'm crying and then afterwards I'm like, okay, I had to let myself even know that I was upset or sad. You know, we can really cut ourselves off from how we feel. I don't think I didn't understand that I was like in a like abusive household until I was in college. And it took me out. I was very disturbed to find out that was my story. I didn't realize.
And why? How did you find out? Like what?
Psychologist told me.
A psychologist told you?
Yeah. I was explaining something that had happened, and they were like, the parent is the one that's responsible for the child, right? And I was like, shh. Yeah, so I found that out, and then I got really upset and depressed, and I was in school, and I was in a really demanding acting program. To get out of bed felt like pulling my skin off. I felt so raw to the world that like leaving and showing up to class like felt like impossible. But I kept trying, and I didn't really want to worry about my family, so I just kind of freaked out by like fixating on some guy. It was kind of this like, I feel like, self-flagellating mechanism where I just kept putting myself in the position to be disappointed and feel like shit and be angry. My friend eventually had been saying the same shit to me all the time. Like, why are you making yourself available to this person when they are not like offering, like it's not an equal relationship? And eventually she'd said this enough times that one time she said it, and for some reason it just went in and it made sense. And that really like broke me out. I just remember like walking around the world after that, and just like the color had seeped back into the world. Like it was kind of miraculous. And I started looking at people and like talking to them and like feeling connected. And I kept being like, oh my God, there's so much magic in the world. Like I see magic in people. I would say that it is significant that one of the things that helped me the most was that I had a really great partner for like 3.5 years.
After that.
Before I graduated, but like not that long after. But yeah, when you talk about these spaces that can be healing, like that was a very healing space in which I learned a lot about what the person I could be if I was in a secure environment. It showed me that I was lovable in a way that I had conceived love, but how I didn't experience it throughout most of my life.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
Being angry at somebody, or even frustrated, because I know that because of the shit that I've experienced, sometimes when I get upset, I kind of lose control of myself. And that idea that I would ever do that, especially to somebody that I love, but to anybody really, is really horrifying to me.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
Maybe when I'm dancing and cooking, engaging in things that bring me pleasure. When I let myself to. When I feel like I'm engaging with even like having fun decorating myself in a way that's not oppressive to myself, but actually like a true expression or extension, or just like embellishing of what I feel like is going on the inside, as opposed to minimizing myself or boxing myself or trying to appeal to anyone other than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to appreciate that there is some continuous thing that is beautiful, you know, that doesn't go anywhere, even in my states that might make me uncomfortable or bring up discomfort. I think about how powerful people could be if they saw themselves as beautiful and deserving and walked around the world carrying that.
Why in your body? Why in your journey? Why in your skin? Why is it a good place to be?
I feel a lot, and sometimes it's horrible, but sometimes it's awesome. And it feels good when I can accept it.
Thank you for that gift. You just gave us all a gift.
Oh.
Yeah. So thank you so much.